Father, if you are willing, remove this chalice from me. The chalice, the cup of suffering. Better, the cup of blood, symbolizing the suffering in store for Jesus. Naturally, many, if not all of us, wish such a cup to be removed. As such, the need to throw light on suffering. And that is what today's Passion story does for us. It throws light on the question of suffering. Is there meaning in suffering? Attacks on airport, train and roads, we have seen and heard it all. On top of this, our own suffering because of sickness or the loss of a beloved one or otherwise. Indeed, suffering is very much present in our life. All the more important to hear that there is meaning in suffering. The fact that we cannot speak about Easter Sunday without Good Friday already shows that there is meaning in suffering. Indeed, the suffering of the crucified Christ is so rich that it forms the answer to the question of the meaning of suffering. Truly, we can say that God has given us the answer to the question of the meaning of suffering in the cross of Jesus Christ. And the answer is love. Indeed, Christ demonstrated his love in suffering. The cross, we do not look for it. It is given to us. And so it was also for Jesus. But then see the importance of keeping Good Friday and Easter Sunday together. Because with the cross, Jesus also received the resurrection. Indeed, through faith, the cross reaches us together with the resurrection, as stated by St. John Paul in his apostolic letter, Salvifici Doloris. Having received the cross, we start to pray. Concerning this prayer in our suffering, it is good to remember what Tertullian from Carthage already said in the 2nd century. Christian prayer does not block the mouth of lions. It has no special grace to avert the experience of suffering, but it arms with endurance those who do suffer. It makes grace multiply, so that faith may understand what for God's sake it is suffering. In these words of Tertullian, we see an echo of the Apostle Paul in his letter to the Colossians. It makes me happy to be suffering for you now, and in my own body to make up all the hardships that still have to be undergone by Christ. Here now we have to be very careful, not interpret the Apostle Paul as saying that the redemption achieved by Christ is not complete. The redemption achieved by Christ is complete. It only means that the resurrection accomplished through satisfactory love remains always open to all love expressed in human suffering. Pope Benedict XVI worked this further out and stated, with Jesus Christ and in Jesus Christ, suffering is transformed into love, and there we find joy. And so, joy in suffering is possible. This brings us back to the Apostle Paul, who wrote to the Colossians, "It makes me happy to be suffering for you now, and in my own body to make up all the hardships that still have to be undergone by Christ." Certainly, we must do whatever we can to reduce suffering. However, it is not by sidestepping suffering that we are healed, but rather by our capacity for accepting it, maturing through it, and finding meaning true union with Christ, who suffered with infinite love. What is central is the love with which we suffer. Looking to Christ on the cross, our attention is also drawn to another virtue, the virtue of patience. Christ endured much on the cross and did so patiently, because when he suffered, he did not threaten. Inspired by this, St. Francis of Assisi said, "My dear son, be patient, because the weaknesses of the body are given to us in this world by God for the salvation of the soul. So they are of great merit when they are borne patiently." The message of suffering with love and patience comes to us through the following poem written by a terminally ill young girl with cancer. She titled the poem "Slow Dance." Do you run each day on the fly? When you ask, "How are you?" do you hear the reply? When the day is done, do you lie in your bed with the next 100 worries running through your head? You better slow down. Don't dance so fast. Time is short. The music will not last. Ever told your brother, "We will do it tomorrow," and in your haste not see his sorrow? Ever lost touch? Let good friendship die, because you never had time to call and say hi? You better slow down. Do not dance so fast. Time is short. The music will not last. When you run so fast to get somewhere, you miss half the fun of getting there. When you worry and hurry through your day, it is like an unopened gift thrown away. Life is not a race. Do take it slower. Hear the music before the song is over. And so the young girl died after unbearable suffering, leaving us a message of life is not a race. But take it slower and hear the music before the song is over. Indeed, if we take life as a race, we will miss out on the meaning of suffering, as taught by Jesus from the cross. The meaning of suffering: love.